I played Kokoro Kitchen for 30 days, and somehow this tiny cafe became my perfect little escape. Running my own cozy cafe, making cute food, and learning way too much about red bean desserts, it was wholesome chaos in the best way. Let me show you how it all went. I love having a new game to play, especially when there's cooking involved. There's just something about cozy food games that make me want to live inside them, preferably surrounded by deep fried potato items. We're off to a great start with suspected amnesia and a talking chicken called Alan. He invites me to stay in exchange for working there, and honestly, I guess I don't have any other option. Free rent and a poultry boss, sign me up. Making my priorities known from the beginning, I head straight to the wardrobe to change clothes. There's a lot to pick from, but I finally settle on this cute little number. If I'm going to be stuck here indefinitely, at least I'll be well dressed for my identity crisis. Downstairs there's lots of contraptions that don't seem to do anything yet, and Alan waits off to the side, patiently and possibly judging me. He basically says he doesn't have time to explain any of this, so I'm on my own from the start. Cool, love that for me. The next room has a makeshift garden and some chickens. I briefly wonder if Alan is related to any of them, or if they're just the non-verbal kind, the regular chicken. I give both the chickens and the soybeans some water, trying to ignore the fact that I have no idea where I am, or why a chicken is giving me orders. I pick a soybean and immediately have no idea what to do with it. The chickens don't want it, and neither does Alan. Apparently this is the kitchen. It's cozy and well equipped, like something out of a tiny cottage cooking show. The room to the left is the dining area. There's just the one table for now, but I'm sure we'll expand once business and my competence improves. Alan sends me off to cook some new recipes, and I'm still wandering around uselessly holding a soybean. Eventually, I find somewhere to put it and somehow make a sort of cake. Alan doesn't want it. Of course not. He only wants rice. Finally, I find a bin for my failed start and make Alan the rice of his dreams. He's still hungry though. Guess what he demands next? Soybeans. So I make the same sad little cake again and pop it in the oven. Alan loves it, shockingly, but he's still not finished. Next up is some kind of soup and egg mix, which honestly doesn't sound great, but okay. It does take me a while to get the hang of cooking with 2 ingredients, but after many failed attempts, I hand Alan his third dish. Turns out it's not just Alan I need to please. There are special regular customers too, each with their own picky preferences. But don't worry, I can find out what dishes they like for the low price of 500 coins. Alan boosts my confidence before we begin our first official day. But look, how hard can it be? I start off by making the soybean thing I made yesterday and take a look around outside. The shop seems quiet today, until I realize I actually need to open it. Soon I get my first real customer. They want the soybean thing, which is perfect since I've just made one. Oh, it's burnt. So that's a thing. No matter. I try again, and soon after, soybean thing successfully delivered. Then comes the soup and egg mix. I am basically a professional chef already. I keep serving, but there are a few hiccups along the way, like discovering that I only have a set number of plates before I need to do the dishes. Many recipes were lost to the overcooked fire of day 1. By the end of the day, I've made $65 and learned a lot. I only managed to serve 4 meals, but it feels like 44. Still, it's progress, and I hope Alan is proud of me, or at least slightly less disappointed. The second day in Kokoro Kitchen is all about learning the ropes. It's a slow start, I don't know many recipes, Alan doesn't like me touching him, and I keep burning the meals. But hey, it's an improvement from yesterday, and every little bit counts. I come downstairs on day 3 to see one of the customers I served yesterday. Apparently, he was so impressed with my cooking that he's decided to become my supplier, bringing me new seeds to plant and meats to buy. A loyal fan and a business partner? My first real success story. It's also a nice reminder that I can unlock new recipes, so that's exactly what I do next. I pick an egg sandwich and it sounds both achievable and delicious. There are also a bunch of new upgrades, including one called Little Buddies, which instantly sounds adorable and slightly suspicious. I make my first egg sandwich for a hungry customer and it's a huge success. It's surprisingly easy to make too, which is a bonus, and by the end of the day I've made a little more money than yesterday. The next day I buy myself my first upgrade, a takeout cart. I even splurge and buy a water station too, because hydration and capitalism. Feeling bold, I decide to multitask and prepare one dish while another is cooking. There is no stopping me now. Except there is, because it turns out I can't pick up the cooked meal when my hands are full. So that's 2 perfectly good dishes straight in the bin. Not my proudest moment. It's been a poor day, but lessons have been sorely learned. The following day, I use my takeout cart for the first time. If I can make 2 meals before opening the doors, that's going to mean more sales. And hopefully fewer disasters. Things are finally starting to make sense. I'm even staying on top of the dishes now, which feels like a personal victory. It's just a fantastic day. On day 7, I march down to the merchant and purchase some cows. They give me fresh milk in exchange for water and a little love. They're absolutely adorable and possibly my new emotional support system. By the end of my first week, I have learned a lot. I've made mistakes, sure, but nothing I'd call a failure. The rhythm of the game is simple. Make money, buy new recipes, prosper. Honestly, I can do this. And it's been the best day so far. I start off the second week on the right foot and unlock a new recipe. Milk bread toast. The more I play this game, the hungrier I get. I alternate between cooking and washing up, and I'm making sure to stock the takeout cart before opening for the day. I've made 11 meals today and over $200. The next day, I have enough to buy a new plant for my garden and 2 new recipes. I make the custard pudding and it looks fantastic, like something straight out of a cafe window. I get this little flutter in my stomach when I think about eventually unlocking everything. I think that's why I love simulator games like this. They give you something cozy to chase, a gentle sense of progress. The next day I buy some Anko beans, which gives me a smile. Anko is a brand sold in Kmart here in Australia, so I'm beginning to wonder what exactly is going on with these beans. I pick my first one and finally get to use it in the prep room. It turns into some kind of red bean paste that's in none of my unlocked recipes, but I'm still pleased. Progress is progress. I'm surprised to see a new customer today, but they don't seem to want to stick around. He's back again the next day, and that's when I remember the little guest book. He's a fisherman. Apparently, if I pay 500 coins, I can find out what meal he wants to eat. I'm a fair way off that for now, but it's always good to have goals. Something that helps me towards that goal is unlocking the Sleepy Assistant. They deliver cooked meals straight from the stove and oven, which is a huge help. Sure enough, as I'm washing the dishes, Sleepy quietly appears whenever a meal is ready. This is huge. I can finally focus on cooking and cleaning, which is a big enough job by itself. Our little production line is running beautifully now. After a few more successful days, I've saved enough to unlock the fisherman's favourite dishes. And of course, I know none of them. Looks like more money is needed. I spend the next few days hustling until I can afford a recipe to please Mr. Fisherman. We're going to be making takoyaki. I buy a day's supply of octopus and take everything off the menu, just because. Maybe serving one item a day is actually genius? Our very first customer of the day is, you guessed it, the fisherman. And since there's nothing else on the menu, he orders takoyaki. See, my plan works. By the end of the day, I've made a record amount of money, and it's easily been the best day so far. I'm definitely onto something here. The fisherman is waiting downstairs the next morning, beaming. He's very happy. I've officially got a new regular customer and 2 upgrade points. Feeling confident, I decide it's time to bring in someone new. The librarian. I have enough money to find out their favorite dishes, and they're all delicious green sweets. I decide on souffle pancakes, so the next step is figuring out what to do with the green tea leaves. I'm immediately reminded of a perfume I used to have in my 20s, Green Tea by Elizabeth Arden, and it unlocks this oddly comforting core memory. I start on my first batch of souffle pancakes and they look a treat. My takeout carts are full, so I open the shop hoping someone immediately wants pancakes. And we're in luck. Of course they do. The next day I buy the Little Buddies upgrade, because honestly I could use all the help I can get delivering fresh produce. They seem cute too, so I'm emotionally invested already. My first customer of the day is the librarian. If you bake it, they will come. Unfortunately, not everything is a success. My little buddies fail to deliver eggs and milk. Maybe they only handle crops? I have to admit, I'm disappointed. I head downstairs in the morning expecting to see the librarian, but instead it's a new potential customer called the banker. I decide to splurge and buy his cheat sheet. It turns out he loves sweet treats, and lucky me, I already know 2 of those recipes. Today is all about red bean taiyaki to entice him. I wait for him impatiently in the dining room, but he doesn't show. Not to matter, patience is a virtue. I wash dishes, prepare meals, and serve customers. Well, Sleepy serves customers. I just take the credit and hope no one notices. A few days pass without seeing the banker, and I double check the guest book just to make sure I haven't missed him. I figure if he's going to be elusive, I may as well unlock the next set of dishes for the gardener. I don't have any of those ones, and they look difficult and expensive. The bao buns might be the easiest, so let's go for that. It uses fresh cabbage, so it's a good chance to see how my little buddies actually work. I pick my own cabbage for now and get to making the bao buns. Pretty simple. Not sure how to get the little buddies to help, I try giving them a cabbage leaf. Oh, I got it. They bring it to me in the kitchen, but they must be gripping it tightly, like, I will die before I let go of this cabbage tightly. I'll just get my own leaf. It's been a busy day with no help from the buddies and no sign of the gardener or banker. But I press on, ending the day with a good amount of profit. It might be a better idea if I have a few options on the menu. We're going back to taiyaki and also going to tempt the gardener with gyoza, which means unlocking a few new veggies. I have the money, so why not go all out and get them all? We now have a full garden to keep the little buddies busy, and I stock them all with fresh produce. They actually are helpful, and sometimes even add the ingredients straight to the bowl. It's chaotic, but in the most wholesome way possible. Another day passes with no sign of the banker or gardener, so I cheer myself up with a dishwasher. Oh, it works a treat. The dishes sparkle, the kitchen hums, and finally, I actually feel like I know what I'm doing. I've spent the last 3 days making the same meals, and honestly, I've grown bored. It is time for something new. And these new dishes are adorable. I even learned something new today. Mochi comes from rice. I mean, does it? I'm just trusting a video game here. Before I know it, we've reached day 30, the final day of my challenge. I load up the menu until it's completely full, just to add an extra layer of chaos. I mean difficulty. Then it's time to prep. Watering crops, making mochi and matcha, and of course stocking the takeout cart. Our first customer of the day is the banker. He finally shows up on the one day I don't have his preferred dish on the menu. Typical. Oh, I guess there's always tomorrow. The rest of the day slips by in a cozy blur of cooking, tending to animals and taking orders. Looking back over the last 30 days, I've really settled into a rhythm of life here. Cooking for regulars, learning new recipes, and watching my little buddies become surprisingly efficient sous chefs. It's been repetitive at times, sure, but there's something peaceful about that daily routine. It's the kind of cozy repetition that just feels right. My last day has been fantastic. I've served 13 meals, made over $400, and honestly, I feel accomplished. And that's it. 30 days in Kokoro Kitchen complete. It wasn't always exciting, but it was always cozy. My customers are happy, my wallet is full, and my heart feels warm. Not a bad way to end my first month in this game. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see more videos just like this one, please do consider subscribing for more. Have a great day.